Hello everyone, this is Kimberly, and long story short, it's spring, or it's almost spring, or it's not spring yet in Vancouver, and I'm dying for spring because I'm so ready for winter to be over. So in celebration, or just in early celebration and just sort of my wishful thinking, I thought I would make this video and show you my top 5 spring picks. 5 decks from my personal collection that I feel have lots of spring vibes and are just amazing decks to use or buy if you're looking for, enablement for spring. And yeah, that's literally just the context. So without further ado, let's go. Let me show you the first one. So this is the Considerate Cat Tarot, and this is a very special deck for me, and it has a special place in my heart because before I created Way of the Panda Tarot, I saw this campaign funding on Kickstarter, and I was just feeling immensely inspired because I feel like, wow, if she could do it. And not to mention, she is a fellow Vancouverite. She lives in the same city as me. I don't know if she's still here, but I'm pretty sure she's still around. If she could do it, so could I. And, she's also, because I was thinking of making a panda deck, and then she made this adorable, gorgeous cat deck. And I was like, oh my god. And I love cats. I think cats are amazing, magical. I have a cat myself. So as you can see right away, the deck is, in the color of this fresh grass pastel green, and you can already see there's lots of like flowers and images of just soft pastel colors and very, very, very much aligned with the spirit of spring. This lovely top-down box with a ribbon. I think the only thing was I was really hoping that it would have like a thumb hole, so it would be just easier to take out. So this is the card back. Again, this really soft, gorgeous, I don't know how to describe this color. It's like a pinkish gray. Okay, if you know the color palette, if you know how to actually name this color, please tell me. But yeah, that's the card back. I love this pastel, and there's white designs on it. I just love that minimalistic and refreshing, airy look. And this deck is just so cute, and they're just a lot of flowers, leaves, just I don't know, it's just so full of, it's just so cute and so cozy, and definitely cottage-core vibes. Cottage-core? Yeah, cottage-core. Cottage-core, right? That word is cottage-core. I've been seeing it everywhere, but it kind of feels weird to say it out loud for some reason. Lots of pastel colors, very aligned with the spirit of spring, and look at all those adorable kitties, and I'm pretty sure all the kitties in here are real rescue cats, and they're just featured in this deck. And I just feel like all the images are very playful, very peaceful, lots of images of flowers and butterflies, just so cozy, cozy vibes to the max. I should make another video featuring the cozy decks I have. This is definitely one of them. I mean, look at this. Look at these adorable kitties. Okay. Yeah, definitely has a lot of I remember when this deck came out, it was, I think also around springtime. I don't remember, because I remember when I started Way of the Panda Tarot, it was around May, and right before that it was March or April or something. And I remember so many people sharing this deck because I think there's a lot of traditional cat decks out there that feature more traditional type of art and traditional images. But yeah, I think this is just a breath of fresh air because there's so many cat decks out there, and then I love them. For example, Mythical Cat Tarot, but this is one of those decks that just are, I don't know, it's just so different and so refreshing. The color palette and all the images of cats is all in these soft pastel colors. I just feel like this deck is very, very, very special. And if you're looking for a refreshing cat tarot, and if you're looking to support a fellow Canadian artist, please purchase this deck. I hope it's still in print. I'm pretty sure last time I checked her social media, she was gonna make another print. So this is my first spring pick. And speaking of feeling inspired to create a deck, because I saw this deck and I was just talking about, ta-da, my own deck, Way of the Panda Tarot. And I originally didn't really associate it with spring, and now that I look at it, it does have a lot of spring images, lots of butterflies and flowers, again, lots of pastels, but I think the colors in here are a little more vibrant compared to the Considerate Cat Tarot. The colors are a little bit softer in there. And this is also done in watercolor by the amazing Celia LaBelle. I wanted to include this deck because I saw a lot of people tagging me in posts on Instagram, just telling me that, oh, like it's spring and it's new year, and I just feel like this is a great deck to start working with. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think of this as a spring deck, but it definitely has spring vibes. And not to mention, this deck was launched in spring. I was born in spring. I'm definitely a spring baby and an Easter child. Like, my birthday is always around the Easter weekend, and I think definitely my temperament and also some of the vibes I personally carry is very like Easterly. You know, that spirit of renewal, that spirit of freshness, playfulness, rejuvenation, birth and rebirth after like a harsh winter. I think this is like a really gentle and honest deck to use, especially if you've just done like some intense shadow working and then you want to like talk to your inner child in a softer manner and just soothe your wounds and just kind of like be gentle with yourself in the process. I think this deck will give you the bear hug that you need. And a lot of people tell me that even though this deck is like really cute, it is incredibly honest. It doesn't cut back on anything. It'll tell you what you need to know, but be as gentle as possible, because you know they're pandas. They're not gonna slap you across the face or anything. I think they might, especially the pandas from the Suit of Swords, but you know, it'll just be like a gentle whack from the paw, not like a hard slap, you know. Oh, that's my cell phone going off. Yeah, so this is definitely one of my spring decks, just because I made it and I was born in spring, and I'm very, this spring is one of my favorite seasons, like minus the bugs, you know what I mean? So it's just like extra spring on spring vibes. So this is like my second pick for a spring deck, and it comes with like a pocket edition as well as a different bonus card if you're interested. And speaking of Easter, I gotta show you and include this deck, of course, the Ostara Tarot, literally named the Ostara. Yeah, so this is like a gorgeous box. This is one of like, this is about like the only decks with collaborations with, you know, multiple artists working on the same deck. This is about the only deck I could stomach, because there's like a lot of decks out there, and you know, like the 78 Tarot, that features a lot of amazing artists, and I think each card is so incredibly unique and beautiful. You know, those decks always have top-notch artists, but I just can't stand the inconsistency that every card is a different style. Like, I just personally don't really vibe with that. But this is like, you know, I think even though there's like 4 artists working on this deck, it still managed to be like very coherent, and like you can see like thematically everything ties together. The art blends together really beautifully. This is the back, so it's also kind of like in this pastel green color, very aligned with spring. You see lots of flowers, and I think this deck has a little bit more witchiness and grit to it, because you can see lots of depictions of bones and, you know, like some darker images, but still aligned with the theme of renewal, because it's kind of like a post-winter sort of feel. Yeah, and this deck is so beautiful. Like, it's kind of like, the art is contemporary, it's like mythical, and has also cozy vibes as well, like witchy cozy vibes. Like, this is one of my absolute favorite cards. Like, look at this. This is the 9 of Cups, and it's just you being surrounded by ginormous cats with teacups next to a fireplace. I mean, cozy joy to the max. Trash pandas. There's just like a lot of cute animals in there. And this is also one of my favorite cards. I love mouse. I love pictures of mouse. I love pictures of mouse wearing clothes. I love pictures of tiny, cute, adorable mouse holding things. This deck is just like right on my alley. I haven't used it for a while, and I really should, because, you know, like, it's just so gorgeous. So this is one of the, well, this is the death card. So you definitely get the grittiness from the portrayal of those bones, but then there's lots of like, you know, kind of like these spiritual energies coming out, and it's very ethereal, but it's like uplifting, and, you know, it's not like it's dead and it sucks, but it's like it's dead, but time to move to the next chapter energies are shifting. It's being like, there's a sense of transcendence to it. This like wide border, I don't know, it's just, I usually don't like borders, but this is like, I don't know, it floats my boat. Yeah, lots of images of birds and feathers, so very spring-like. Colors are just gorgeous. There's like some abstract symbolism going on as well, such as this one, the magician. And I think it's almost like, it's got a little like bit of like dark feminine in there, you know? Like it's very like, colors are kind of vibrant, but they're also really soft to look at. They're not like in your face. It's a little bit on the darker side. So there's just that sense of like, it's almost like not the typical frolic in this field of grass and flowers type of spring and just like sniff the daisies, but this is more like I think if you're into Persephone, like the lore of Persephone, I think you would enjoy this deck because it's definitely got that darkness vibes, but also keeping it aligned with spring, as I like to say. Okay, so that's my third choice. Since we're on like green covers, here's another deck with green covers, and I know you already know this deck if you've been watching this channel. It's the Dreaming Way Tarot, and it's gorgeous. Like, okay, first of all, I cannot rave enough about this back. Look at this. It just looks like butterfly wings, you know, like the spots on the butterfly wings, and then the green is obviously a very spring color. The images are, I think these are watercolor, and I don't know if it's pastel oil paint. I'm pretty sure it's watercolor, but the lines are more like defined in there. You know, when it comes to like Asian art like this, you know, like the pop art, usually it's very like bubbly, but this one is more, it's got that Victorian storybook feel, and it's got like fairy tale vibes. Like these, you know, like the fashion in here is off the charts. I'm sure this is old by now because I'm just always talking about this deck, but I just think this deck is a great deck for spring. Everyone is so amazingly dressed. It looks like a K-pop drama, but with like a medieval, fantastical vibes. Like, look at these. Like, I will wear this. Maybe not this one. Maybe I wouldn't wear this out, but it's like, it looks like something someone would wear, you know? Okay, like, that was a bad example, but like, I will wear this. Look at this emperor. Like, it's interesting. I think that's a straight jacket. Huh. I never noticed that before. Wow, and I had this deck for years. You discover new things every time. Yeah, so this is just like an amazing blend with like storybook, fairy tales, K-pop drama, modern idols. A little bit of steampunk vibes as well. And I just adore the art. There's also lots of like images of flowers and very like feminine. Look at that hairstyle though. Like, oh, this deck is just, yeah, I don't think I need to like tell you more about this deck because I just like talk about this deck so much on my channel, but I just think like this is another great deck for spring because it's so, I love the card out. It's just got like, you know, like it has like an angelic vibe too, I forgot to say. And angels, I know angels are like all seasons, but I think angels are, for me, are just very associated with spring because, I don't know, they're just like, angels are just so loving and all-encompassing. I mean, I technically haven't researched into all the lores of angels. I think angels can be wrathful at the same time, so maybe they have winter vibes. And my last pick is the gorgeous, gorgeous Botan Tarot by A. Miyako M. This is like, if you're into like Asian folklore, like classical Asian garments or images from a bygone era in Asian Japan. This is a deck, like this deck is done in watercolor. I think watercolor decks are just very, very spring-like because, you know, it's like that soft, watery, soft textures on like this, you know, this type of waffle paper called linen. I don't know, it's just very fitting. Just makes everything look like artwork. The colors are very soft, again, soft pastels. There's lots of beautiful depictions of flowers, and oh my god, Miyako is just a genius when it comes to like portraying characters. Like her court cards and her majors are just so alive. Like they're just so alive. And then yeah, the colors are very soft, and then there's not a lot of like bright contrast. It's kind of a bit of Asian imagery there. Oh, it's just breathtaking. Like this deck is breathtaking, and you just really get lost looking at the artwork because they're just so gorgeous, especially the characters, like especially the people. They're just so distinct, and then they just have like their personalities are just so palpable. And then look at that, how spring-like is that? Like, you know, pastels, all these bamboos. I love bamboos, and all the characters, I will make out with every single one of them. Like, they're just all so hot. They're just very, very attractive. I would even make out with that bird because that bird's cute. Oh, look at that bird! Oh, look at that bird! Oh my god, like look how pretty this bitch is. Yeah, devil, OMG. Yeah, and the animals are so cute. Look at the sun card. Oh my god, like I can't even. I can't even. I feel like this is like a spring, you know, when you're working with the energy of spring, you know, when you're sort of setting goals or setting intentions for the rest of the year, I think, you know, around February, March is like when the year really begins. January is really like a carryover where you kind of finish the admin of the previous year and then you tie things up. I don't know why everyone's so eager to start a year like January, because we all know it doesn't. Honestly, especially if you're really in tune with the seasons and the intuitive workings of nature or the organic workings of nature, you will know, you will feel that the year doesn't really start around January. Like for me, it's like literally starting like late February or March, because that's when spring is sort of kicking in. That's when the seasons are transitioning. And when you're working with the energy of spring, you know, that energy of renewal, like, and like it makes me think like, you know, like there's this bubbly feeling of spring. I think spring is associated with innocence and youthfulness and inner child and childhood, and also just being born and being childlike. But it is the season right after winter. It is a season that needs to repair all the damages. Well, maybe not damages, because in nature it's technically not damages. It's just sort of the ebbs and flows of nature. It's just how the world is, right? You know, like leaves wither, crops die, the earth becomes more barren, and animals go hide and hibernate. So there's like this rested period. It's like the season of death, metaphorical death, figurative death, of like things ending, seasons ending. And spring is the season that follows right after that. So it's kind of like, it's not like, you know, it's like the season that doesn't, it's not the season that like resets everything. It's not the season that forgets everything and you're just like, oh, like everything is happy now. No, it's actually like an incredible season of courage where you have to like, I mean, unless you choose to live a life of like ultimate dissociation. But I think really the spirit of spring is the courage to begin again. It's like feeling into that incredible softness within and using that as strength, because it takes so much courage to repair, you know, like ego deaths or dark night of the souls, or things that didn't work out last year, or having to face the disappointment of like maybe you didn't accomplish as much as you wanted to, or maybe you didn't like you know, like things happen without, that's contrary to your expectations and things like that. So spring is really like, it's like the courage to go on, but accepting what the winter has brought to your life, and also just being grateful. I think winter is also a season to be grateful. Actually, maybe that's a fall thing. Well, great gratitude is an all season thing. But I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm trying to say, right? It's kind of like spring is not just like all happy. I think joy is definitely a very powerful emotion in spring. Hopefully it's all year round for you, but spring is like it's almost like reincarnation. You don't have to believe in reincarnation. I'm just like talking about like symbolically, you know, reincarnating, like being reborn, and being reborn, like that metaphor of like the caterpillar melting into absolute goo so it could reform itself into a butterfly. So that's what spring is to me. You know, it's like deeper than just like happy and childhood and bunnies and Easter, and I think those things are awesome. But spring is also just like, if you really tune into the spirit of spring, it's just that just that incredible power of healing and shedding your skin and letting the raw parts of your skin, you know, that's maybe like wounded or still oozing, still bleeding, just letting those things heal so you could continue to live your life and dream new dreams and become more of who you are. And I think these decks will pair powerfully with those sentiments. If you want to go kind of tune into your playful, energetic inner child vibes, go with Way of the Panda. And if you're feeling sort of like cozy, restive, kind of just that transitional period of like, oh, you're noticing that spring is here and you're just kind of like nurturing your aspirations, go with Considerate Cat Tarot. And then if you want to do like some post shadow work, maybe like a deeper dive into the wounds that are healing and just like be a little bit more gritty, a little grittier, go with Ostara. And also if you're like, you know, heavily witchy, like if you just want to do some more witchy shit that's more mythical, more like, I don't know, I don't want to say witchy ghetto, but just like more like a traditional like ritualistic vibes, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I do a lot of witchy stuff, but a lot of stuff I work with is literally like gaming controllers, keyboards, journals, cute pink things, Kirby as a manifestation figure. So I'm like very different from like a traditional sort of like, you know, like the typical witches that you see. But I think if you're feeling witchy, Ostara is your go-to. If you're feeling like, you know, doing some path working, dream work, past life work even, go use the Botan Tarot. I think this deck will be amazing. And I think Dreaming Way is like a good deck to use if you're sort of like looking at your goals for the year, but you also want to be productive. Definitely go with this deck because this deck is dreamy, but it's just got lots of, like, it's got that spirit of adventure and action to it as well. But also very like introspective and contemplative. But I don't know, because like it looks so much like a storybook. I just feel like the story is going, you know? So I think if you want to map out some goals and shit, like Dreaming Way is a way to, it's literally called the Dreaming Way, right? So it's like marking on your path and stuff. Okay, so that has been my top 5 spring picks. Let me know if you have any of these decks. Let me know if you enjoy using any of them or if you are thinking of getting any. Let me know what your picks are. Like, what are the spring decks in your collection? Or what would you consider a spring deck? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, level up tarot and level up life. And love yourself as much as you can, because you're the one you wake up with every single night, every single morning, and you're also the one that falls asleep with you every single night. You get a drift. Okay, bye.